Hello, prospective science students. My name is Mr. Connard. I teach honors in AP Physics, and I want to talk to you a little bit about the difference in the levels and what kind of students typically sign up for each level of physics, and some characteristics of students that are typically successful at those levels. So we've got college prep physics, which is a suitable graduation requirement class for anybody taking science at West. Physics is going to cover topics about describing motion, explaining reasons for changes to motion, momentum, conservation of energy, a little bit about electricity, as well as waves, sound, and light. Honors physics, on the other hand, is a weighted course. So that means you get a bump on your GPA from whatever grade you earn at the honors level. Honors is a little more restrictive in terms of math ability. Now, anybody can sign up for honors, but students that are typically successful in honors geometry have taken honors algebra as a freshman or perhaps geometry as a freshman. We do get some regular algebra students in honors physics, typically ones that are interested in a science or medical career post-high school. But understand that as a student that took regular algebra as a freshman, there are going to be some specific math skills that you may not have seen that some of your classmates will. So you do need to be ready to work with your physics teacher to catch up on some of those things. The honors class will cover a few topics that college prep does not. There's projectile motion, circular motion, some greater depth, particularly with electricity that happens. So honors physics is going to move faster because there's more content to cover, and the mathematic applications and the problem solving are going to be a bit deeper. So it is a more challenging class, and you earn that weighted grade accordingly there. For AP Physics, a lot of the same topics as honors, less to do with electricity and waves. We touch on them, but they're not on the AP exam in May. We do, however, cover rotational motion and simple harmonic motion, which means things that move back and forth in equal time. Think like the pendulum on a clock. Okay, so that's the difference in topics. We do prepare for the AP exam, which is usually the first or second week of May. That does mean that we have to move even maybe a little faster still than the honors course, because I've got to have you ready before the AP exam as opposed to the last day of school around Memorial Day. It is a weighted class, just like honors is, and the added bonus is that if you do take the AP exam, you have that chance to earn college credit. Now, it is an algebra-based class, so it's accessible for people who don't know any calculus yet. However, the College Board does suggest that only students who've completed geometry should sign up for AP Physics. So if you're a freshman right now and you're taking geometry, then you are eligible to take AP Physics. Whether you do or not probably depends on the amount of work you want to put in and what your long-term interests are. AP Physics is going to take up some of your time outside of class. There's a lot of lab writing that happens in the course. There's a lot of practice that's necessary for the different types of problem solving that you would expect to see on assessments. So AP Physics is a time commitment, and so you need to be ready for that. Okay, so students that are typically successful with AP Physics are relatively strong students in honors geometry as freshmen, or they're juniors or seniors who've moved a little further along in math. They've completed advanced algebra, or they're in pre-calc or something like that. Those students tend to do a little bit better in AP Physics, and also students that can manage their time pretty well. That can write a lab report, not procrastinate till the last minute. Those students tend to fare the best in AP Physics.
My name's Olivia, and I took both AP Physics and AP Environmental last year as a sophomore. AP Physics is definitely a challenging class, like where you need to work hard for your grade and like stay on top of your work in order to be successful. But overall, I thought it was a really good experience, and it was good exposure for the future, especially like seeing how college classes actually would be. But Mr. Connard always ran like fun demonstrations and cool labs that kept the class interesting, although like I said before, like the class was difficult, but it kept it fun. AP Environmental, I really enjoyed personally just because I love environmental sciences. It's not as hard as AP Physics, but like again, you need to stay on top of your work in order to be successful. I feel like the content was always really interesting, and Miss Bloom always ran fun labs and stuff for us. But you get to go on a field trip, which is really cool.
So I remember my freshman year during freshman orientation, we went to this classroom and there was a student speaker who's taken AP courses all 4 years of high school. And I remember he just kept saying like 3 to 6 hours of homework each day. That's not true.
No, not
it's
at all.
really not. Like, even if you're taking 3 AP classes,
As
like,
long as you keep up with your work, you're never gonna pile up to be 3 to 6 hours. No teacher would ever do that, especially an AP teacher,
yeah.
because they understand. My freshman year, I took AP Human Geography, and that was my first AP course that I took. My biggest support was definitely my teacher, and from there on out, it's been the teachers ever since.
Some advice I would offer to anyone looking to take an AP course at all would be to take what you actually thoroughly enjoy. You don't want to take a class that you already dislike. Another really cool thing is to, if you do know what you want to do with your life and you do know what you want to major in college, look at the courses that are required for you to take. It's really beneficial if you can knock out some of those AP Science courses in high school for a fraction of the cost. That's a great opportunity, and you should definitely take it. Since my freshman year, I've been enrolled in about 4 AP classes, and I've received credit for about 3 of them. And although they weren't all science classes, I will be, like, one of them was A+. I will be receiving an elective credit for the A+ I took. So instead of paying thousands of dollars for a class, I enjoyed one in high school and paid a fraction of the cost. So it's a win-win. I really enjoyed the class, and I got a lot out of it. So overall, I highly recommend AP college courses. They're very much like what your college experience will be. I have a few friends who are in state schools or private schools, and I'll talk to them and ask them, what does your course look like? Are you able to juggle like being an athlete and doing your schoolwork? Like, I was so confused and worried about if they were able to do it, and they were like, no, it's okay, because we have the prior experience from our AP classes. And I think that's the really great thing about AP courses, because even at the end of the day and you don't choose to take the exam, you learn the content and you carry over the knowledge you've learned in that class to your college years, and I think that's what's most important. Alright guys, thank you, and I really hope you consider taking AP Science courses, because they're fun, they're great, you got labs, it's the most hands-on learning experience you will ever have, so I highly recommend you utilize Wes's AP courses. Thank you guys.